I stand at the edge of the African zoo under a hard white sun, the air heavy with dust and the metallic smell of opened gates. I am a middle-aged man wearing a faded khaki shirt, dark trousers, worn boots, and a cap soaked with sweat, my face tense and alert as alarms echo without voices. I see empty paths, overturned signs, and abandoned carts, proof that everyone runs moments ago, leaving the space unnaturally still. I move forward slowly, my boots crunching on gravel, aware that a full-grown African lion escapes its enclosure somewhere inside the zoo. I scan the wide enclosures and broken fencing, knowing a powerful lion with exposed muscles, golden fur, and alert eyes roams free, unpredictable and stressed. I notice something that stops me cold. An elderly woman stands alone near a bench, small and fragile, wearing a long light dress and a headscarf fluttering in the dry wind. I see her hands trembling as she clutches a cane, her posture rigid, her eyes fixed ahead, unable or unwilling to flee like the others. I follow her line of sight and spot the escaped African lion in the distance, its massive body low, tail flicking, paws stepping silently on the dirt path. I feel my chest tighten as I realize the distance between the elderly woman and the adult African lion shortens with every slow step. I raise my hands instinctively, palms open, my body angled toward the danger, knowing there is no tranquilizer in my hands and no backup in sight. I take a cautious step forward, placing myself between the elderly woman and the lion, fully aware of the risk and the silence pressing down on us all. I breathe slowly, locking my eyes on the lion's intense gaze, silently asking for time, silently asking for help without words. I feel the heat pressing harder against my skin as the African zoo falls into a deeper, more dangerous stillness, the kind that warns me something is about to go wrong. I keep my body between the elderly woman and the adult African lion, aware that my position leaves me fully exposed with no cover and no escape route behind me. I notice the lion's breathing change, its chest expanding more visibly, its jaws parting slightly as saliva gathers, signaling rising stress and hunger. I shift my weight carefully, realizing that even a small, sudden movement could trigger a charge that neither I nor the elderly woman could survive. I glance sideways and see the elderly woman's legs shaking, her grip on the cane tightening as fear drains her remaining strength. I understand that time is now working against us, because the longer the standoff lasts, the more agitated the lion becomes. I notice broken fencing nearby swaying slightly in the wind, creating sharp metallic movements that could provoke the animal at any second. I feel the sun burning my neck and face, sweat running into my eyes, blurring my vision while I force myself not to blink. I realize I have no tools, no tranquilizer, no barrier, and no radio. Only my body and my ability to remain calm. I take one slow step sideways, trying to guide the lion's focus onto me and away from the elderly woman, without turning my back. I sense the lion responding, its paws digging into the dirt, muscles tightening as if preparing to spring. I hear a low vibration in the air from the lion's chest, a warning without sound telling me how close we are to disaster. I understand that if the lion attacks now, there will be no second chance, no rescue arriving in time. I brace myself, knowing that I must act soon, even if I do not yet know how, because doing nothing is no longer an option. I force myself to move, understanding that waiting any longer will only push the adult African lion closer to attacking. I slowly lower my center of gravity, making my body appear larger and more stable without making sudden gestures. I extend one arm slightly to the side, not to threaten, but to control space and keep the lion's attention fixed on me alone. I carefully step toward a nearby service corridor inside the African zoo, using my body position to subtly redirect the lion's line of movement away from the elderly woman. I notice a distant movement near the veterinary sector of the zoo, a small sign that trained professionals may still be inside the grounds. I maintain steady eye contact with the adult African lion, breathing slowly, showing no fear even as my muscles shake under tension. I see two wildlife rescue professionals appear cautiously behind a reinforced gate, wearing protective uniforms and holding tranquilizer rifles. I understand I must hold the lion's focus for a few more seconds to give the professionals a clear and safe shot. I take another controlled step, placing myself fully in the open, completely exposed, accepting the risk to protect the elderly woman. I feel the lion hesitate, its attention split between me and the new movement behind the gate. I signal subtly with my posture, keeping my arms open and steady, guiding the lion's position without turning my back. I see one wildlife professional raise a tranquilizer rifle, carefully, aligning the shot toward the lion's shoulder. I remain perfectly still, knowing that any mistake now could provoke a charge or ruin the only chance we have. I brace my body as the moment stretches, trusting the professionals to act at exactly the right second. I see the adult African lion tense suddenly, its muscles contracting sharply as instinct pushes it toward action. I feel the ground beneath my boots vibrate as the lion shifts its weight forward, the moment stretching to the edge of catastrophe. I realize the elderly woman behind me would have no time to move if the lion charges now. I hold my position, forcing every instinct in my body to stay calm while fear surges through my chest. I see the wildlife professional's finger tighten on the tranquilizer rifle trigger behind the reinforced gate. I sense the lion committing to motion, its shoulders dropping and hind legs coiling with explosive force. I understand this is the final second, where one correct decision changes everything. I remain perfectly still, giving the professionals a clean line and refusing to run. I watch the tranquilizer dart strike the lion's shoulder, embedding firmly into muscle. I brace myself as the lion reacts, roaring silently and staggering as the medication begins to take effect. I step back slowly, never turning my back, as the lion's movements become uncoordinated. I see the lion collapse onto the dusty ground, its massive body finally still, but breathing steadily. I feel my legs weaken as the immediate danger passes, the silence breaking only in my chest. I turn just enough to see the elderly woman still standing, alive, unharmed, gripping her cane. I watch the wildlife professionals move in carefully, maintaining safe distance as they secure the adult African lion's body. I remain nearby, alert but calm, ensuring the elderly woman is never left alone in the aftermath. I see the professionals check the lion's breathing and eyes, confirming the tranquilizer works as intended and the animal is stable. I help guide the elderly woman a few slow steps away, my body still positioned protectively between her and the lion. I notice her hands stop trembling as the danger fully fades, her grip on the cane loosening slightly. I see relief spread across her face, her posture softening for the first time since I arrived. I watch the professionals place protective barriers around the lion and prepare a transport stretcher designed for large wildlife. I understand the lion will survive and be returned safely to a secure enclosure where it cannot harm anyone. I feel a deep release in my chest as the crisis truly ends, replaced by quiet gratitude. I stand beside the elderly woman in silence, sharing the calm without words. I see her turn her head slightly toward me, offering a small, steady nod of thanks. I respond with a slow nod of my own, knowing no gestures beyond that are needed. I watch as she is escorted safely toward the exit by zoo staff, each step deliberate but confident. I remain behind for a moment, looking at the African zoo now returning to stillness, no longer threatening. I walk away knowing that both the animal and the human life are saved, and that today ends with everyone alive.